Good evening and welcome to Thorold City Council. First on our agenda, councilors. Are there any conflicts of interest? Seeing none, I'll move on. To start with tonight, we have a public meeting. This meeting is being held pursuant to the provisions of Section 34 of the Planning Act, RSO 1990 CP 13 as amended. The above noted application has been submitted to permit a farm service and supply establishment on the subject lands located at 2705 Cataract Road. The purpose of the application is to amend the zoning bylaw to permit this use on the agriculturally zoned portion of the lands. An intended sheet is located at the back. If you wish to receive a copy of the forthcoming city staff recommendation report and a copy of the city council decision, please add your contact information to the sign-in sheet. At the same tables, copies of this evening's city's technical report can be made available upon request and is also available on our website. I call on Margaret Walton, Landscape Inc., agent for the applicant, to present the proposed application. Welcome, Ms. Walton.
Thank you, Your Worship. As you said, my name is Margaret Walton. I'm a registered professional planner that was retrained by Minor Brothers to assist them with the application. I have a brief presentation. Basically, as you indicated, the property is located at the corner of Regional Road 20 and Cataract Road. It's been purchased by Minor Brothers.
Randy, can you see if her microphone's on?
No, they're picking on. I tried it before, but it didn't seem to want to talk to me. Thank you. Do I need to take this other? So as I indicated to you, the property is located at the corner of Cataract Road and Regional Road 20. Minor Brothers have actually purchased two parcels adjacent to each other. The property has been developed for many years as an orchard, and there is a commercial component. This is the zoning map of the property, so there is a parcel on the corner that's already zoned for commercial development. The parcel that's subject to the application is a 1.2 hectare parcel adjacent to this commercial strip. So in total, the property owned at the corner of Cataract Road in the one property is 12.1 hectares, and then Minor Brothers have purchased the 6.9 hectares adjacent to it. And the intent is to farm the balance of the property and establish a seed and farm service facility on the adjacent, on the small parcel. This is an aerial photo and some photographs of the area. Along Regional Road 20, there's already a considerable cluster of commercial use. This is a farm-related use and agriculture-related use according to the policies, so we'll take that development one lot further to the east. It is fortunately located in an area. There is a problem with the salt that comes off of Regional Road 20, and it basically has sterilized this small parcel at the front of the property. That is where the development will be located. So this actually will not take land out of production because the land is not currently in production. The orchard starts back of that. There is a concurrent site plan going forward that deals with the commercial development on the corner, and it will also deal with the technical issues related to stormwater management, entrances, and site servicing for this parcel. The area subject to zoning, as I've indicated, is the area that's shown in hatch. It's 1.2 hectares. It will contain the store, and those of you who are familiar with Minor Brothers will see it's been very similar to the other facilities they have in the area, and they service the local farm community with seed and farm equipment and those kinds of things. The entrances are existing off of Regional Road 20 and will continue to be in the location they're in. It occupies about 10% of the property, and if you add the property adjacent, it's less than that. So this is a minor use of the this is a schematic showing what the feed store will look like. There will be landscaping along the front to meet your requirements, and that will be dealt with through the site plan with Mr. Schultz, who's with me tonight to answer any technical questions you have, is working on that site plan with the city. The proposed site plan, as I've indicated, the two parcels, the commercial parcel and the parcel where the feed store will be located, will be serviced jointly. There will be a stormwater management pond. There will be on-site sewer, septic, and water. It's a private service. And then the existing entrances will continue to be used. And basically the justification for this, it is an agricultural related uses and policy framework, provincial, regional, and city policies do contemplate this type of use in the agricultural area to support area farmers. It really is in character with the surrounding land uses since there is this blend of commercial and agriculture in the area. And as I've indicated, really will not remove land from production because the land has not been actively farmed because of the road salt. The balance of the property is actively farmed, and Minor Brothers intend to continue doing it. And I have Brian Feather from Minor Brothers here as well tonight for any questions. So thank you, Your Worship. I appreciate the opportunity to address council. If there are any questions, we can please respond.
Any questions for our presenter? Seeing none, thank you very much for your presentations, Ms. Walton. I'll call on Alden Darvison now for the presentation of the technical report. So and he will highlight the technical report, department, and agency comments.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of council. Without reiterating anything Ms. Walton has presented, staff will, as you please, conduct an analysis of the application in light of all provincial policy that's applicable to the site, as well as regional and the official plan for the region and the city. We've received a number of comments on the application, all of which there are no objections. They're more technical in nature, where we're dealing with things like landscaping, entranceways, and stormwater management, which will primarily be dealt with through the site plan process. We will be looking at more details such as impact and compatibility of the proposed use, the scale of the project, as I mentioned, it's very small scale, which would mirror the intent of the policies. And we'll also be reviewing in detail the planning justification report submitted by Landscape. And that concludes the technical report.
Thank you. Are there any questions for Mr. Darvison? Seeing none, I'll move on. I'll move on to the public participation. And if a person or public body chooses not to provide oral or written comments at the public meeting in the city of Thorold before the proposed zoning bylaw amendment is adopted, this will result in loss of any rights to appeal the decision of the council of the city of Thorold to the Ontario Municipal Board. Now at this time, is there anyone present who wishes to speak for or against the application? Please come forward to the podium. I don't see anybody, so I'll continue with my closing remarks. This refills the requirements of the Planning Act RSO 1990 CP 13 pursuant to Section 34. The City's General Committee will consider staff's recommendation report, which will be subsequently considered by the City Council at a future date. Anyone wishing to receive a copy of City Council's decision as a result of this application is asked to submit their request in writing to the City Clerk. As such, this public meeting portion of this application is now closed. Now move on to our minutes. Minutes of the regular council meeting held on July 4th, 2017. Councilor Wilson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Moved by myself, seconded by Councilor Sharon, that the minutes of the regular council meeting held on July 4th, 2017 be received and adopted.
Thank you, Councilor Wilson. Are there any items for discussion? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor? Opposed? That's carried. Minutes of the special council meeting held on July 4th, 2017. Councilor Sharon.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Moved by myself, seconded by Councilor Wilson, and that the minutes of the special council meeting held on July 4th, 2017 be received and adopted.
Thank you, Councilor Sharon. Are there any items for discussion in these minutes? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor? Opposed? That's carried. I'll move on to my mayor's report. I'd like to welcome our acting fire chief, Terry Dixon, to his first council meeting. Terry has been a long-serving and dedicated volunteer and full-time member of the Thorold Fire and Emergency Services. We look forward to working with Terry in his new role as acting fire chief. Welcome, Terry. Tomorrow afternoon at 3 p.m. at regional headquarters, we will officially open the DQ and Merrittville multi-user pathway. Following the official opening, there will be an outspoken slow ride for all ages along the pathway. Please join us if you are available. On July 9th at Club Castropiano, I and several other members of council had the pleasure of joining 300 more people as we created the human flag. This endeavor would not have been possible without the hard work and organization of Port Robinson Proud, the Thorold Canada 150 Club, Club Castellano, and the generous support of Empire Communities. It was a wonderful afternoon, and I look forward to more 150 events and activities throughout the remainder of the year. On Thursday, July 19th, we will hold a ribbon cutting ceremony for the new gazebo in Sullivan Park. This gazebo was made possible through the generous contributions of community partners. On behalf of City Council, we would like to thank Cobblestone Gardens, Clearview Contractors, Cotton Construction, and Walker's Industry for their assistance to see this project to fruition. Last Friday, July 14th, our local Member of Parliament, Vance Badaway, was on hand at City Hall to present us with the new Canada 150 flag. It is now proudly flying right alongside our national flag on the flagpole outside City Hall. I'd like to thank Vance. And that concludes my report. And we'll break now the most important part of the evening, presentations. And I'm going to ask Councillor Terry Delaney to come up with me. We're honoring Christian Gurney of the Erie Otters, winner of the J. Ross Robertson Cup Ontario Hockey League Championship Memorial Cup finalists 2016 and 2017. And we're also honoring Connor Timmons of the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds for being selected 32nd, first overall in the second round by the Colorado Avalanche in the 2017 National Hockey League entry draft. And I'm negotiating on behalf of the Toronto Maple Leafs. We're going to get up 4 draft choices next year. Does that sound fair?
At least we beat the Habs.
We'll do Christian first, then we'll do Connor, and then we'll do the picture as well.
Go ahead, Chris.
Here's the one.
At least it doesn't have to announce it to the game.
We got you on the league list too.
Okay, that's good.
And this one's presented to Christian Gurney of the Erie Otters to congratulate and recognize you on winning the J. Ross Robertson Cup, Ontario Hockey League champions, and Memorial Cup finalists 2016, 2017. On behalf of the Government of Canada and all citizens of Niagara Centre, may I extend our appreciation for your contribution and inspiration to sports and the community. Vance M. Badaway, Member of Parliament.
Next.
I'll take it.
We're gonna get you back.
So I'll just read this one out, Connor. As Mayor of the City of Thorold, on behalf of City Council and our community, it is my honor to recognize Connor Timmons of the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds for being selected 32nd overall
by the Colorado Avalanche in the 2017 National Hockey League entry draft.
Honor presented to Connor Timmons for being selected third and second overall by the Colorado Avalanche 2017 National Hockey League entry draft. On behalf of the government of Canada and all citizens of Niagara Center, may I extend congratulations on your achievement. Branson Badaway, Member of Parliament. Yeah, we're gonna get a group. Okay, come on in, Kristen. We'll get a group. Before we take the picture, I just want to say that I'm really proud of these guys, and there's a lot of history that goes because I had the pleasure of coaching Connor with your dad, Dan, and with Frank Gurney, who was manager the year we won the Sutherland Cup in 2006, am I right? Or 5? I got it here.
Actually, 2004.
2004, 2005.
You're older.
Okay? And these guys are best friends. They grew up playing hockey together all the way up at the Southern Tier Admirals AAA program. And then Christian went on to Erie, and Connor went on to the Sioux. And on top of that, I just want to say Connor's one of 45 junior players in Canada to get selected to go to the Canada World Junior Hockey Camp that's coming up at the end of the month. So that's another great achievement.
Ted, don't worry, he'll get you tickets when he gets it.
Used to hearing those stories. Oh.
It's always a pleasure to be able to make these kinds of presentations with our best athletes in town. I thank Councilor Ugolini for assisting me and putting this all together. Okay, we're in communications. Items referred to council, I have 3. And basically what I've done is, I'm not going to put you through the pain I put you through last week, 2 weeks ago. I've taken time to summarize this and eliminate about 80%.
Just point of order, you have to tell me the attention.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Tim, can you take the chair?
No problem, Mr. Mayor. Do you still have 3 motions or just 1?
Yeah, 3 motions and I'll make room.
That being the case, do you have seconders for all 3 already?
Oh, yeah, that's a good question. Who wants a second?
There. present the first motion.
Thank you. Okay, I'm doing resolutions 4, 5, and 6 this week, and try to summarize them like I said before, so you can go through this pain. Whereas many of the locks that are critically important to the system were built over 50 years ago and are in need of major infrastructure investment, and whereas the locks at the Sioux are in special need for attention. Now there be it resolved that the Great Lakes and St. Lawrence City's initiative support U.S. funding to construct a new lock at Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan. And be it further resolved that the commercial and navigation companies operating in the Great Lakes and St. Lawrence take all necessary steps to comply with regulations designed to keep invasive species out of the waterways. And
Is that the first one? Thank you. Is there any discussion, questions for Mr. Seaman?
okay, I can just, now I have to read all of it further resolved, so I'll read it all. Be it further resolved that the Great Lakes and St. Lawrence City Initiative support continued dedication of the Harbor Maintenance Trust Fund to the purpose for which it was created. Be it further resolved that all dredging of harbors and channels be done in an environmentally sound manner. Be it further resolved that the Great Lakes and St. Lawrence City Initiative endorses the Great Lakes and St. Lawrence Maritime Strategy, strongly encourages the state and province to include local government as full partners in implementation of the strategy. Be it finally resolved that the Great Lakes and St. Lawrence Cities Initiative fully endorse the Quebec government's maritime strategy for the St. Lawrence River and strongly encourage the province to include local governments as full partners in the implementation of the strategy. And that's it.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Are there any questions to the motion? Therefore, being none, I'll ask for a vote. All in favor? Opposed? So moved. Okay, your second motion.
Go to the second one. This one has to do with resolution in support of designation of the NOAA Wisconsin Lake Michigan National Marine Sanctuary, submitted by cities of Manitowoc, Port Washington, and Sheboygan. Whereas Wisconsin's Great Lakes contain some of the nation's most important natural, cultural, and recreational resources, and whereas national marine sanctuaries draw regional, national, and international tourism, impact regional and local economies, and are featured and promoted in national magazines, journals, books, and films. Now therefore be it resolved that the Great Lakes and St. Lawrence Cities Initiative endorse and strongly support the designation of the Lake Michigan Wisconsin National Marine Sanctuary on behalf of the state of Wisconsin, the cities, two rivers, Manitowoc, Sheboygan, Port Washington, and McCoy, and Manitowoc, Sheboygan, and Oswego counties currently under consideration by the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Are there any questions or comments to the motion? Therefore, being none, I'll ask for a vote. All in favor? Opposed? So moved. And your third and
Thank
final.
you. The sixth resolution, action on pharmaceuticals and personal care products, PPCP, pollution in the Great Lakes and the St. Lawrence. Whereas pharmaceuticals and personal care products, PPCPs, include prescription drugs, over-the-counter drugs, veterinary drugs, nutritional supplements, vitamin cosmetics, lotions and sunscreens, fragrances, insect repellent, and common chemicals such as household cleaners have a direct adverse impact on the Great Lakes and St. Lawrence aquatic ecosystem, drinking water, and water quality. Now therefore be it resolved that the Great Lakes and St. Lawrence Cities Initiative encourages research to identify PPCPs of concern
and the methodologies to determine their concentrations in the wastewater effluent before it is released to the receiving water. Be it further resolved that the city's initiative calls for research to be conducted on the levels of frequencies of PPCPs, EDCs, and the ecological effects of mixtures of PPCPs in regards to the complexities of aquatic and terrestrial environment, and be it further resolved that the city's initiative echoes the Ontario Ministry of Environment's call for further work to better understand the effectiveness of individual treatment technologies in reducing parent compounds as well as their metabolities or degradation products. Be it further resolved that the city's initiative calls for research on the long-term effect of PPCPs on aquatic species population levels, with emphasis on large lake systems and effects on terrestrial ecosystems. Be it further resolved that the city's initiative call for research on effective methods of removing PPCPs from wastewater. Be it further resolved that when treatment technologies and removal processes are identified, tested, and economically feasible, it is recommended that levels of PPCPs be regulated in wastewater effluent and wastewater treatment plants. Be upgraded through designated federal funding to combat PPCPs intentionally disposed into the wastewater system, as well as PPCPs excreted from humans. Be it further resolved that the city's initiative encourage the proper, safe, and disposal of unused PPCPs and call on pharmaceutical and personal care product manufacturers to take responsibility for their products and provide consumers with disposable options. Be it finally resolved that the federal government of Canada and the United States devote the necessary financial and other resources to address the threats of PPCPs in our drinking water and water systems.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Do we need a break after that? Thank you. Are there any questions or comments on the motion? Good roll call. Councilor Hill.
I think it's a great motion. I wasn't privy to all the discussions that went into making it, but does this basically call for more research into detection, control, and cleaning? And was there any discussion about pesticides that get into the water, for example? In other words, not only what comes from drugs, but
Farm products.
not just pesticides, but drugs are also used heavily in industrial farming of animals. So pesticide, not just pesticides, but there's antibiotics used there as well. It covers all of that.
I'll see if I can answer your question. There's the cause of all the blooms, especially in Lake Erie and Lake St. Clair, is mostly caused by farm runoff, and they're working towards that as part of this resolution. And as far as all the other things in there, like pharmaceutical stuff and that, it's going to be a long period of time before we'll be able to educate the pharmaceutical companies to, the damage that they do to the lakes. And the whole idea is I guess the entire idea of the initiative is to take this proactive approach towards cleaning up the lakes. They know they can't do it like that. They know that if they keep going at it every year, the lakes get cleaner, the ecosystem gets better, and they just want the goal is to keep the momentum going. So we got good news in that all the governors around the lakes, all the legislative bodies around the lakes and throughout the states have all come on board with this Great Lakes Initiative. So there's been, as we speak, and Councilor Lee pointed out to me that there's a big pushback on Mr. Bush, and he's taking a step backwards on it. So that's the good news from this initiative right now. I don't know if I answered your question.
No, you did, right? And I think this is a great initiative. It just kind of, to have all of these different municipalities come together to make that statement towards the government is amazing. And it's sorely needed. It just reminds me of all the several past decades, all the different governments that have come together to try and do something about global warming, and yet the output of CO2 keeps going up. So I would hope that the big governments listen to this, because it's a very good document. But they should listen to it and actually do something about it. Calling for research is great, but there's already a lot of existing research showing what the impact is. And this could easily fall into the same habit that the global warming accords got into, where everybody agrees and then nothing is done, and it goes up, and then there's the Paris Accord, and it just keeps going, and more research is called for. But I think this is great, and I really thank you for bringing it forward.
When you have an association of 130 mayors, that's a lot of big voices.
That's great. I'm glad you brought that.
Montreal, big cities, and then there's Thorold.
That's great.
So we're involved too, but I hope that councils in the future will continue having representation on Great Lakes and the St. Lawrence Initiative. I think it's somewhere down the line. It's a big win for everybody. This group, when we started up, I think they're less than 10 years now, and they've come a long way. They're going to be asking Canada to match the U.S. The U.S. is $300 million in the very near future. So we're going to be asked to step up, and I hope we do. So we'll see what Canada's reaction is to it. Anyways, thanks for listening.
Okay, are there any more questions? Before being done, a virtual vote, all in favor? Opposed? So passed.
Okay. Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Where are we? Okay, items referred to city staff, Councilor Neal.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. It's moved by myself, second by Councilor Ugolini, that the communications on the list of correspondence 6B be received and directed to the indicated staff member.
All right, items for discussion. Seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor? Opposed? That's carried. List of committees, minutes, correspondence from volunteer committee. Councilor Longo.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Moved by myself and seconded by Councilor Thorold that the communications on the list of correspondence 6D, minutes, correspondence from volunteer committees be received for information purposes and filed.
Thank you, Councilor. Are there any items for discussion? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor? Opposed? That's carried. Reports, correspondence from the region of Niagara. Councilor Ugolini.
Through you, Mr. Mayor, moved by myself, seconded by Councilor Neal, that the communications on the list of correspondence 6E, reports, correspondence from the region of Niagara, be received for information purposes and filed.
Thank you, Councilor. Any items for discussion? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor? Opposed? That's carried. Items for information purposes. Councilor Fiona.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Moved by myself, seconded by Councilor Longo, that the communications on the list of correspondence 6F be received for information purposes and filed.
Councilor. Are there any items for discussion? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor? Opposed? That's carried. We'll move into reports. Minutes of the General Committee meeting held on July 4, 2017. Councilor Whalen.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Moved by myself, seconded by Councilor Wilson, that the minutes of the General Committee meeting held on July 4, 2017 be received and adopted.
Thank you, Councilor. All those in favor? Opposed? That's carried. Other business. Councilor Whalen. Councilor Hanley. Go ahead, Councilor.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. First of all, I just want to remind everybody that the annual car show is being held this Saturday. It's great event, so make sure you come out. And we're something, Fort Revenue has the best hot dogs and hamburgers in town, which all proceeds being donated to community care. So the weatherman outside is going to cooperate, so these are good. And just one more. Because we have a public meeting next week with respect to the downtown redevelopment of the parking and the bus stop. Is there any thought of what's going to happen to the parking that's happening there now when that's going on? I had a lot of comments and questions around town, just what might be proposed.
Mr. Mayor, the report is going to come to council at the next council meeting. The party, ad hoc party committee, which I remember, have passed various motions which we have been presented to council for their sign off. And once it is there, then we have the marching orders to go ahead and start implementing those solutions for the downtown.
No, it's just if the development is happening, like what's the idea? Where's everybody going to park during that time span? Like there's 34 spaces if you have a commission, when the parking has to be revamped. So are they going to be, as you asking for some dollars to push things down behind the old fire hall, or is that the thought? Or we appreciate the work's being done, just where we stand with.
Sure, Mr. Mayor, certainly we'll look into it and see where the parking would be during those construction periods.
Just, I'm sure that question will come up quite frequently
Sure.
next week, so we'll be ready for that.
Great, thank you.
Councilor Hanley.
One of them's out there, I was actually going to bring up about the parking for downtown in general. And obviously reports coming forward because the students are going to be back in droves soon, and fortune to be made in that parking lot next to the fire hall. Like, you know, that's all I need to say is that we're going to be stuck in the same situation that we've been arguing over or discussing, not me personally, but over for years. So I'm hoping that report going forward, we can solve what has been a concern for many citizens in Thorold. This weekend, just to let you know, the PHC company #1 volunteers will be going to Northeast Pennsylvania to represent the city of Thorold in the annual Cherry Festival. And we're doing a little research, and we think we're probably approaching, we're either 129 years or 128, we're trying to find out. And next we're thinking that we'll be at 130 years, where the drill team in Thorold has been participants in at least one event every year in the last 130 years. So that's something that we're looking forward to do. And for community notes, that a hypnotist is coming to the new nightclub in Niagara at the Lake, at Lundy's Lane, this Thursday and Friday. His name's Cyrus. If anybody hasn't known, it's like a comedy act, a hypnotist show, all in one. It's what Niagara's newest entertainment venue on Lundy's Lane. Children over 12 are permitted. You need to be 16 years or older to be on stage. But I actually went and seen the hypnotist years ago, to tell you a story, when I was actually underage. And we went on stage, and while I was on stage, he got me to admit what my actual age was that I was drinking in the bar, underage. So, it's something to be true, but I was like, unbelievable. But anyways, and this guy's quite an entertainer. So anybody wants to go see a hypnotist, and it's happening at the Lake Club this weekend, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
Anybody else under other business? Okay, I'll move on to bylaws. Bylaw number 73, 2017, and 74-2017. Councilor Hanley, please.
Moved by myself, second by Councilor Weiner, that leave begin to introduce the following bylaws. Bylaw number 73, 2017, a bylaw to stop up and close a portion of Queen Street, South Queen Street Bridge to vehicle traffic. Bylaw number 74, 2017. A bylaw to establish certain officers for the purpose of the corporation in the city of Thorold and to appoint persons to hold such offices. And that the same now be read a first time.
All those in favor? Opposed? That's carried.
Moved by myself, seconded by Councilor Wong, that the bylaw just read a first time, be read a second and third time, and do pass, and that the mayor and clerk do sign and seal the same, any rule of this council, not to the contrary, notwithstanding.
All those in favor? Opposed? That's carried. And we'll move to adjournment. I'm sorry, notice of motions. I'd like to put forward a notice of motion in that I will be bringing a notice of motion of budget guidance for staff of 3%. 1% is to go strictly into infrastructure. That's my notice of motion for next meeting. And we'll move into adjournment. Councilor Sharon.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Moved by myself, seconded by Councilor Wilson, that this meeting is hereby adjourned at 7:13.
All those in favor? Opposed? That's carried. Can we move into general committee?
Yeah.
I'd like to call this meeting to order. First on the agenda, are there any conflicts of interest? Seeing none, there are no delegations. We have one report in the administration section. CAO 2017-04, use of Blackhawks jersey for team trials.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The recommendation is that the Thorold Amateur Athletic Association be granted permission to utilize all team jerseys for tryouts, provided the logo is covered at all times. Thank you, and that concludes the recommendation.
Thank you. I will move for the report. Councilor Lee.
So move the report.
Speakers to the report. Seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor? Opposed? Can I get a poll vote, please? I see people not putting their hands up, so
Just waiting, Mr. Mayor, for this to come up like an.
None of us have any contact again this week with our server. We're all offline.
Yeah, we're on.
well, I called the vote, and some hands went up and some hands didn't go up.
Why would I?
So I'm asking for a recorded vote. Madam Clerk?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. When I call your name, could you please vote in yes or no in support of the recommendation? Councilor Eugene?
Yes.
Councilor Neal?
Yes.
Councilor Whalen?
Yes.
Councilor Wilson?
Yes.
Councilor Payone?
Yes.
Councilor Sherrill?
Yes.
Councilor Hanley?
Yes.
Councilor Longo?
Yes.
Mayor Luciani?
Yes.
That's unanimous.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, can we just wait until we actually can see something?
They're all there.
They're all there. All our things are down.
Call me when it comes up, sorry, let me know.
We never did it.
Have a 5-minute recess?
Yep.
We're all there.
If any individual council has an issue with any of them, please, I'll ask you to put your hand up to tell me which one you want to speak to. You want to speak to any? Then I'll bother them all.
Any items you wish to speak to?
We're gonna have
Any items in all of general committee that you wish to speak to?
We have a screen behind you, Ted.
You're in.
Okay. Set the screen.
There's a decision.
There we go.
There you go.
Okay, we got it.
The tentative Thorold South is we're taking the money from Sydenham Street, and we're gonna go over budget and that stuff and get some money out of the other reserve from
And that's
Chippewa
how we're
Street.
doing,
And that's how we're doing the sewer and Thorold South for $1.2 million.
1.34.
Around there, yeah, okay?
Yeah.
And we're getting $400,000 from,
But I have a question on that one. Why is it so far over budget? What's the reason behind
That's
that?
my question.
Through you, Mr. Mayor, when we started the process, we were hoping to get more funding from the region. We were expecting we asked the region for a 50-50 funding. They gave us a 70-30 funding, which put us about the $300,000 under, and then the construction price facilities
That would
division.
do it.
So part of the reason also is increase in construction pricing
Yes,
because of the demand of that?
that's right.
Councilor Sharon?
I have a question about it only, I don't mind doing this, but I'd like if I was living on one of these two streets that are not being dealt with, and they should be, that we actually commit to, in the next budget, to ensure that they have the work done that they should be should have done on the two streets that we are pulling money away from right now.
I don't know if this helps, but maybe we can insist on staff making those two streets a priority in the next budget.
I think absolutely, and I think council remembers that this is how we actually afford to do the other project. I mean, the other project needs to be done, but all of them need to be done, and they're just setting priorities for each one. And I would like to feel that you could say to the people who live on the other two streets that, yeah, it's coming, be a little more patient, but it's going to be there.
Councilor Euling?
Through you, Mr. Mayor. The 15,000 on Chippewa Street, are we doing a portion of Chippewa, or we're just not doing the little piece?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, that's correct.
So my feeling and why I'd like to put an amendment in, we should finish Chippewa. It's 15,000. We should use that out of reserves. We shouldn't be not spending 15,000 to not finish that street.
Through you, Mr. Councilman.
Through you, Mr. Mayor, I think we can do that with the money we have remaining.
So let's make sure we finish Chippewa, and then the other one we can make it private. Do I need to make a motion on that? Okay, thank you.
Councilor Dion?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. My question is, option 4, which was to take, I believe, 400,000 out of reserve, and I understand that's a lot of money, says, I didn't see how much, it says it would take that much out of reserve, but I didn't see a value as to how much that would leave in reserve. So what kind of impact, so if we take 400,000 out of reserve, what impact would that have on that reserve? What would be left in it?
So, well, through you, Mr. Mayor, well, Maria's looking that up. I believe it takes about a third of the.
So we would still have about 800,000 left in the reserve. And I'm wondering maybe if we could do a hybrid of option 3 and 4. I mean, is it possible, I'm just thinking off the top of my head here, but is it possible that instead of delaying or not doing 2 of those streets and doing 400,000, we can just do 1 of the streets and take less than 400,000 out of reserve? In other words, take enough out of reserve so that we only have to cancel 1 street instead of 2. That way it wouldn't impact the reserve as much, and we still.
that's what we do.
Yeah, that's what
We're gonna finish Chippewa.
We're gonna Chippewa, finish Chippewa.
But I thought that's being done with, so the 400, this one I'm trying to figure out, is the 400,000 solely from 1 of the streets?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, yes it is. It's from the Sydenham Street.
Okay.
And then the 15,000 comes from the Chippewa Street. And we believe we can get the work done based on new technology to, with the money that we have remaining.
All right. And so the amount that would be left in the reserve is 800,000.
Maria has a better answer to that.
Okay.
Through you, Mr. Mayor, the balance that's projected to the end of 2017 is $1.8 million in the sewage capital reserve.
So if we take 400, we still have 1.4 million. Is that such a bad thing? I mean, the reserve is there for exactly this sort of thing. Should we head into a snag or a rainy day? And I mean, I'm not necessarily adamant we should at least discuss it, taking 400,000 out of a 1.8 million reserve is such a bad thing. Anybody else feel the same way? Or?
Put that in the form of a motion.
Well, I mean, we've been given 4 options, and right now we're kind of leaning towards option 3. I'm saying let's go to option 4.
Put it forward now, second,
Yeah, so I say we go with option 4. If there's one, that's why I want to know how much is 400,000 taking all of our reserve. Now that I know it's 1.8 million, I think taking 400,000 out of 1.8 million reserve to get all those things done makes sense to me. So I would put forward a motion that instead of going with option 3, we go with option 4 and not delay any of this.
I'll second that motion.
Speakers to the motion, Councilor Longo.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Through you, Mr. Dunmore. You mentioned that there's been an increase in construction costs over the last year. What percentage increase would you say there's been?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, it really is tender based. Well, what's happening is a lot of our contractors are getting extraordinarily busy, and so they're just, the prices go up accordingly. And I wouldn't suggest to know how much on average that is across the board.
And that's my concern, and that's why we probably agree with Councilor Payon that it doesn't look like construction's slowing down up there. And if we wait a year to do it, we're going to spend more than the 400,000. We have the money in reserve. It's a street that's been on our list that has been promised to be done to people. So I would agree with Councilor Payon, and I think we should probably look at option number 4. We're going to spend the money next year anyways. It's in reserve. Why not spend it now instead of spending 400 plus possibly another 10% on top of it, or whatever that number is.
Councilor Ugolini and Councilor Neal.
3 yes, Mayor, and I agree with Councilor Payon, and I agree also that costs aren't going to go down, they're going to go up. And if we defer Sydenham till next year, then we're going to be deferring something else next year that's on the list slated to be done next year that really needs to be done. So I think we need to bite the bullet on this.
Councilor Neal.
Yeah, the only reason why I would like to know why you didn't do number 4. Why you didn't decide to do that, since we have $1.8 million in the fund, but you were sort of adamant that you didn't want to do number 4. Was there a reason why you didn't want to do number 4?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, all the reasons are identified in the report, and that is to, it was approved budget, and that's policy, we don't recommend over budget.
Councilor Neal.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Question number CFO. 1.8 sounds like pretty healthy reserves. What are we projected that we should be pushing for in that reserve? Just a guess.
I'm sorry, I really don't have that number.
Thank you.
Okay, there are no more questions. We're voting on the amendment. question, all those in favor? Opposed? That's carried. We're spending the extra $450,000.
Out of the reserve.
Okay. I don't know if we can work this way or not. Okay, we bundled we're going to pass everything. Is there any item that council would like to pull?
Can we call it?
No, you want to pull? Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
Development engineering. Make it bigger. I'll call the question on development and engineering. All those in favor? Opposed? That's carried. We'll move into the clerk's department, and I'm going to call these one at a time. And I see why you didn't want yours bundled. And it's the first one anyway. CC 2017-32, amendment to animal care and control bylaw to include prohibited animals.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. It's being recommended that the attached draft animal care and control bylaw that was circulated to council in yesterday's packet be presented at the August 8th council meeting for approval. That concludes this recommendation.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Can I get a move for the report, Councilor Utilini?
So move the report.
Speakers to the report. Seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor? Opposed? That's carried. CC 2017-33, Ontario Municipal Commuter Cycling Program Fund.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. It's being recommended that staff be authorized to submit a grant application under the Ontario Municipal Commuter Cycling Program Fund for the consideration of the following projects: off-street bicycle multi-use trail on St. David's Road from east of Schmon Parkway to west of Tucker. The value, if we were successful with the grant, would be $160,000 that the municipality is responsible for. The second application is Rails to Trails, which is a 9.7 kilometer, 4-meter wide cycling path that would connect the town of Helen to St. Catharines, Thorold, and Niagara Falls. And that value would be responsible for is $240,000. And that concludes the report.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. And that Rails to Trails one is referred to as the Fonthill Spur.
Yeah.
And I'll ask for move for the resolution. Councilor Utilini, I'll move the resolution. And speak to it. Speakers there.
When we were, the project to do St. David's Road, did that not include the trail? Because I went to the open house and it showed the, on the south side of St. David's, the anticipated bike path and pedestrian path. Was that included in the cost of the project?
I can answer. 800,000 that we are talking about here, that is the city's contribution towards that project. 800,000 for us, 800,000 from the city of St. Catharines, 1.6 million from the region. So that is what the contribution MGO is seeking from us. We are actually, from our perspective, trying to, it's restricted to 500,000, the initial value that was put forward by MGO. But in an event that we have to go with 800,000, and if we can get the grant, 80% of that 800,000 could be funded through the grant application.
So I guess that leads to my next question. From a staff perspective, it says for us to pick one of these two projects. Are we applying for both or one?
Applying for both.
Oh, okay, so that's fine. Because I think they're both excellent projects. I would have had a hard time deciding what one we should apply. But if we're applying for both, I think that's fantastic. Yeah, thank you.
Any other speakers to the motion? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor? Opposed? That's carried. CC 2017-34, volunteer appointment to Parks, Trails, and Recreation Advisory Committee.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. It's being recommended that Tommy Cormelson be appointed to the Parks, Trails, and Recreation Advisory Committee. That concludes the report.
Thank you. Can you move the report? Councilor Neal.
So moved.
Speakers to the report. Seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor? Opposed? That's carried. CC 2017-35, award of RFP to electronic voting services.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. It's being recommended that the RFP for the lease of electronic voting services, these are the tabulators at the polls, for the 2018 and 2022 municipal election be awarded to Dominion Voting Systems in the amount of $18,824, excluding HST per election. That the city clerk report back prior to the 2022 election on matters related to internet voting. That may support consideration of this option for the 2022 municipal election. That the mayor clerk be authorized to execute the necessary agreement. That concludes the report.
Thank you. Can I move for the report? Councillor Sharon.
So moved.
Speakers to the report. Seeing none, I'll call a question. All those in favor? Opposed? That's carried. CC 2017-36, Age-Friendly Committee update.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. It's being recommended that the report be received for information purposes and that the Age-Friendly Committee present a series of recommendations at the August 8th meeting for consideration based on the work of the subcommittees that they formed. That concludes the report.
Thank you. Can I get a mover for the report? Councillor Hanley.
So move the report, Mr. Mayor.
Speakers to the report. Seeing none? Councillor Neal.
Just to let people, just to let the council know that there will be a lot of recommendations coming forward at their next council meeting, so be prepared.
Good recommendation.
Good recommendations. Good. Okay, I'll call the question. All those in favor? Opposed? That's carried. We have nothing under fire and emergency services, nothing in camera, and move to adjournment. Note the recommendations of the general committee will be considered for ratification at our special council meeting right now.
Where we did the finance. We did finance.
Council people, do we do that?
Finance.
I believe we are back on the
Okay. Moved by Councillor Jones, second by Councillor Sharon, that we now rise and enter the special council. All those in favor? Opposed? That's carried. Moved by Councillor Payne, second by Councillor Sharon, that the recommendations of the following reports be approved. CAO 2017-04, DF 2017-15, DES 2017-37, 51, 56, 57, 58, CC 2017-32, 33, 34, 35, 36. All those in favor? Opposed? That's carried. Moved by Councillor Jones, second by Councillor Sharon, that they be given to introduce the following bylaw number 75-2017, and that the same now be read a first time. All those in favor? Opposed? That's carried. Moved by Councillor Jones, second by Councillor Sharon, that the bylaws just read the first time, be read a second and third time, and be passed, and that the mayor and clerk do sign and seal it, and any of the council operating notwithstanding. All those in favor? Opposed? That's carried. Moved by Councillor Keown, seconded by Councillor Sharon, that this meeting is hereby adjourned at 7:40 p.m.